Right, we're going to take another look at Konkreet Performer version 2. Again, apologies for the shaky cam, I'm holding it in one hand and controlling everything with the other. So what I've done is I've done a little bit more work than the last video. I've set up some effect banks. So what I've got here is a basic arrangement going. I've got 2 tracks of beats, that one from the D55 kit, just Ableton built-in kit, and I've got a reactor kind of kick pattern coming off there. They're all going for a subgroup, which is channel 4 there, and in channel 4 I've got my DFX buffer override, Old Faithful, and a grain delay just from the standard stuff. So what I'm going to do is map Konkreet Performer to various elements there and get our glitch on. So dropping down to the Konkreet Performer itself, basically it's just the same mapping that I showed last time, but discovered a few extra little things. So if I take Control 1, and that I'm going to map over to DFX buffer override. So a couple of things I've done here, take that off for a second. There's a little button just here which sends the CC over to Ableton. So in Ableton here, if I go over to buffer override, I click on buffer divisor and I'll just give XPOS a click up there, and you'll see that immediately that's mapped it up there. So same thing again, let's go to buffer size and we'll stick that there. And then finally on the dry wet mix, just so it's not always full on, I'm going to map that over to the length. Now that's mapped, hasn't it? Yeah, good. Right, so now immediately if I kick this beat in, you'll see on here that I'm controlling these 2 elements, but also that the length I am away from that central node makes my dry wet mix move. So if I move it down here, it's full on wet. If I move it up to the node, it's dry. So non-affected, affected, and then there's my usual buffer stuff. So that's quite nice, so I can get some nice little patterny stuff going on there. Okay, so let me just do the same thing with the grain delay. So let's take node number 2. Again, apologies for shaky cam. Right, so on the grain delay, I'm going to map frequency to XPOS. There we go. And I'm going to map pitch to YPOS. Just send that over like that. And again, I'm going to do the same thing with the dry wet mix. Can you see that? Sorry, there we go, dry wet. And I'm going to turn on, I can't see what I'm doing, sorry, length, and send that over. So length is now mixed into that as well, so turn off MIDI mapping, and now you'll see the same thing is happening with number 2. So my dry wet mix is there, and my grain delay is being controlled by X and Y position. So that thing of the length is a really, really useful thing, and what happens is then when I control both, I get these really nice sweeps. So if I just point up to the effects, you'll see this stuff kicking off here, hopefully, with both of them as I move it around. So then, as before, we've got our little preset positions here, which I can just set quite easily. And I've got a couple of like safe positions. So this, for instance, because they're right next to that central node, sorry, actually 1 and 4, I need to move 1 and 2, don't I? So if I move 2 up there as well, that should be a fairly safe position. Let's just move the whole thing over here, there you go. So I'll just program that into that bottom one. So I know that whenever I need to get back there, I can just hit that one and it'll be fairly safe. Kick in the cake drum, and you'll find I've got some really nice little kind of glitchy patterns. Increase the inertia and you get these really nice animated glitches on the drums. So just even in the studio, let alone live, this is going to be so useful for just making really nice, unusual patterns. hope that gives you a general idea. Earlier I had it, the other two nodes hooked up to the Alchemy patch. In fact, actually, let's quickly do that as well, just so you can see what I'm doing. So on here, I've got Camera Audio Alchemy, and I've got these little performance things here which are controlled by these. It's exactly the same deal as before. Switch on MIDI mapping, control, come over here, go in here, let's do number 3, X pause, Y pause, and let's actually turn on angle and length as well, and we'll do it all from one. That one. So you know here that's controlling the synth as well. And now, if I turn my inertia on, we get nice little animations of the synth. So you can even imagine controlling a whole mix this way. It really is just such a lovely new way of controlling things. So there you go, Konkreet Performer version 2. That's been kicked out over the IMX again, the Yamaha device there, so that's MIDI straight into my M-Audio block and straight into Ableton, normal MIDI mappings, and there you go. Again, apologies for the shaky cam, I hope you can make that out. Hopefully people more professional than me will do a better job of it. Coming to you soon. Nice one.